up? Welcome back to another episode of Validated by Victoria. Hello. I am live here in Las Vegas. Yes, I'm live in Las Vegas. Sounds all fancy. I'm in my hotel room. I decided to do a remote episode because I want to keep up with the podcast and do a lot of episodes. And I'm sorry if you hear planes flying. I'm literally like in a fly zone here at this hotel, the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. But I'm having a lot of fun here. I'm actually in Las Vegas because it's Monster Made Week. So if y'all didn't know, I am one of the Monster Energy girls. I have been doing it for 5 years. I love the Monster brand. Like, the brand, the people, like everything about it. They have been the most supportive to me throughout the years. I literally had started with Monster right when I was going through radiation treatment. So I would go through radiation treatment during the week, and then on Friday, right after my radiation treatment, I'd fly out to one of the NASCAR races and do the whole Monster Girl thing, and then fly right back on a Sunday night or like an early Monday morning and go back to radiation treatment. So they were with me from that pinnacle moment of radiation treatment, like almost right after I had recovered from the brain tumor surgery and the neck tumor surgery. And then they had been with me honestly through everything and super supportive through law school and my mom passing. So I really love the Monster brand. So happy to be here. But yeah, I was like, I want to do a podcast remote. I literally brought all my stuff. I really wish you could see this. I have my iPhone. I'm going to take a video of this and I'm going to add it in so you guys can see literally what is going on. My room is a mess. Hey guys, this is like my setup. So you guys will see this on the YouTube. If you're listening, I have my iPad, like you saw this, I have my iPad set up for the voice memo for my Spotify. I'm literally trying to be like executive producer in the house over here. I have my like camera set up, recording for YouTube. So yeah, I'm starting to learn this podcast thing. Bear with me. It's going to take some time before this is like really on point, but for right now, hello. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I'm doing in Vegas, doing some Monster Girl things. I'm also working remote, working with clients for, the law firm that I'm doing that. Obviously, still on the ball for that. Bar results don't come out till like April 11th, like 2 days before my birthday. Don't want to think about that. Yeah, my birthday's in 3 weeks. I turned 29. Last year, my 20s. Let's not talk about that either. Just a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts, but I'm super happy to kind of just be away from the craziness that has been in South Florida for literally the past 2 weeks. I mean, it's been like spring break, and I swear, I don't remember being that crazy on spring break, for one. And for two, Miami traffic is almost worse than New York at this point. Like, it's insane. I thought I was moving to Florida, not Manhattan, but yeah, everyone's just flocking down to New York. Everyone from New York actually is flocking down to Miami, and it's just been craziness, and then spring break, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of good to get away. But if you can hear these freaking planes just going flying everywhere, like people are just traveling like crazy, and I'm part of that. So, on other news, I'm happy to be on the West Coast. I'm still kind of feeling weird on West Coast, East Coast time because I'm dealing with a lot of work on the East Coast. But here I am wanting to film a podcast and record a podcast episode for you guys so I can keep it up weekly and you can know what's going on. So my last podcast, if you listened, if you haven't, please go back. It's amazing with Betty Maxwell. She moved on in American Idol. Incredible. I knew that was going to happen. I just had that feeling. She's got the star quality. She is American Idol, really. Just an amazing overall person. You can hear about her story, her book, her Miss America journey. Please listen to that episode. If you have listened to it, let me know your thoughts. She's incredible. But on the end of that episode, I said I was going to be interviewing my friend McKenna for the next episode, aka this one. Things got a little crazy with time difference and she got busy, but hopefully we had talked about doing it in the morning via Zoom before I left on my flight. So guys, let's pray like I get on that Zoom call with her. If not, I hope to have an episode with her soon. She's amazing. She is a human trafficking advocate, and she's been doing a lot in the state of Florida with her story in human trafficking. She is an incredible human being, so I really am excited to have her on the podcast. But yeah, that was supposed to be today. Things got a little crazy. Bear with me. We got a crazy schedule. My life is crazy. That's why I love this podcast called Validated by Victoria, because I feel like not only is it a podcast where I'm introducing you to people and things that I think is valid, but I'm also showing you my crazy life and journaling my crazy life. But anyways, here we go. I am going to jump right into it. You guys, I had posted on my Instagram, like, what do you want to hear from podcasts? Like, what do you want to hear today? This is a solo episode. I like to get your feedback on Instagram, hearing what you like me to talk about, what you want my opinion on, what you think is valid. So here I am. Always, it's going to come back to dating. You guys love my dating. So I feel like this is end up going to be like a dating podcast at some point. Like, actually, no, it pretty much is a dating podcast. We're going to talk about red flags. We're going to talk about everything under the sun with dating. Y'all want to hear about my dating life for some reason. I don't know why, but I will let you in. I'll maybe this episode tell you about a bad date. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I do this podcast unscripted. I do have like a notes thing on my laptop right here, like just to keep myself in line. If not, I'm just going to be like ADHD off the wall right now. So to keep myself in line, I have the 2 topics that you guys wanted to hear on my podcast today. The slap heard around the world. And if you haven't heard about the slap, you should have heard about the slap. I don't even watch TV, and I'm not saying that to be like, oh, she thinks she's cool, she doesn't watch TV. I'm just saying that because I just don't watch TV and I never have time, and literally when I hit the bed, I'm like, lights out. So the slap heard around the world. I even heard about that. I think everyone at this point has it. If you haven't, please Google Will Smith slap Chris Rock. That's all you gotta do. Or you can put like Oscar slap. Like, yeah, figure that out. My second is dating. We always know I'm always going to come back to dating. Even when I bring my friends on the pod, we always talk about dating, what's up, single, married, fiance, everything. I try to be like a holistic view and not just put single people on so I can just like hate on love. You know, I try to show some good relationships, some healthy relationships, not just about my dating life. But we're going to start right in with the slap. Y'all wanted my opinion about the slap, and it took me some time, and yesterday I filmed a podcast. I thought I like rambled on about the slap a little too much, and I'm like, I gotta cut that. Like, I just didn't really like what I was talking about the slap. And then I saw a video on TikTok, I think, and it was Jim Carrey. Oh my gosh, this plane. I swear, every time I start filming the podcast is when I like hear the planes going. So if you heard that, holy crap, it sounded like it was right here. Anyway, the slap. So I was simmering on it. I was scrolling on TikTok, saw a video with Jim Carrey giving his opinion, and I'm like, that is so random. And he was so anti-slap. He was so pro, like Chris Rock should sue Will Smith, and I was like, oh my gosh. So maybe this wasn't staged, because yesterday I was having like an internal debate. Obviously I'm talking to you guys, which it seems like I'm talking to you guys, but I'm literally talking to myself here. So I'm having an internal debate. Like, I think it was staged. I think it was for viewership. I think it was staged. And now at this point, with everyone chirping, like, maybe it wasn't staged. It seemed a little too raw, a little too real, especially when he yelled after, like, keep my wife's name out of your beep mouth. Like, yeah, maybe the anger behind it seemed very not actor Will Smith, very angry Will Smith. So the staged part, I think we can push it to the side. It wasn't staged. I am totally against the slap. And now there's been memes that come out, like, so many memes. Like, literally probably 2 seconds later after the slap happened, memes hit. I don't know how these people make memes, TikToks. There was like a TikTok banger already out. And I'm like, how do people do this so fast? Like, sometimes I can't even think about what I want to talk about in the pod, but it starts flowing. But, like, people immediately just think about these memes so fast. And the memes came out immediately. And one of my favorite memes was like, oh, now your girl's going to be asking, like, if someone makes fun of me, are you going to slap them? Like, well, something like that. Something like that. Maybe I could pull it up. I don't know. It's somewhere in the archives. I'm going to find it while I'm talking to you guys. But yeah, the memes immediately hit. There were so many memes. I shared them on my story. I'm going on my stories archive on my Instagram. I'm going to find these memes because I want to get them correct. I did post another funny meme. Here's the meme. It said, here come girls with, if my man not defending me like Will. And it has like a little SpongeBob face. I just can't with these memes. And then I think looks like someone from the Housewives, one of the Housewives, like running. And it's like me, I don't feel like watching the Oscars tonight. There's drama, me, and then running. There was another meme. It's just like a bunch of memes. Every girl, this is the one I'm talking about though. Every girl texting your man, if somebody made fun of me at the Oscars, would you slap them? That was, honestly, that was the greatest. That was the greatest meme. And in my opinion, if a man did that, I'd be like, absolutely not. My opinion on the slap, I thought it was pretty trashy. I thought it was totally out of character for Will Smith. Not that I know Will Smith personally, but it just seemed very awkward. Like, honestly, if I was in that position and a guy, like, at a classy award show went out of his way to go slap the person talking because they were, like, making fun of me. And, you know, honestly, at these award shows, you're like an actor. You're putting yourself up to be roasted. I know you're probably like sick of hearing like the same joke over and over and over again. Like if we're talking about Julia Fox, like the Uncut Gems, like that stuff, I probably think she's sick of it at this point. Or maybe she's loving the free press. Like who knows? But I know like you're putting yourself out there. You're gonna get roasted, and it's a comedian. This is Chris Rock. He's a comedian. He's a comedian. You know he's gonna joke. It would be out of sorts if like Angelina Jolie or like Brad Pitt was saying that. But, like, this is a comedian. You know he's going to start some jokes. So, if I was in her position, I'd be like, oh, here we go again. But, like, whatever. He's a comedian. This is more clout to my name. Whatever. But, yeah, you got to take the heat. And then that just was so... I'm like, what in the world? Like, I mean, I just think it was not classy. I wouldn't want my man slapping someone at an award show. I would be so embarrassed, like internally, and I'd be embarrassed for days, and maybe, you know, I'm the kind of girl who like does like when someone sticks up for me, like, but that crosses the line. There is an extreme. It's one thing to yell, like, keep my wife's name out of your mouth, like, one thing, but when you have to go out of your way to get up out of your seat and go slap someone, that's when I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I draw the line completely on slap, going out of the way to do that when it was just a funny hee-hee joke. And the people who, like, support the slap supporters, like, guys, I just don't know why you support that. Maybe I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and maybe you were like, okay, I get where he's coming from, the frustration of the infidelity or all that stuff. It just like came to fruition. But when you're in such a high caliber position, you don't need to be going around slapping people. Like, you don't need to be going around slapping people. I just think that doesn't... Like, there's a lot of young viewers, too, that probably think, no, it's okay for me to go slap someone if they, like, insult me. No, I know we learn to, like, turn the other cheek, and I'm not advocating to be a doormat here, but at the same time, you gotta think, this is called, like, time and place. And also, like, the legal brain in me is saying, like, assault and battery, like, easy charges to press. And you just don't want that. You just don't want this extra unnecessary drama. I'm really sad because I really, really do like Will Smith. I think he's like cool. I always watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when I was in high school. But yeah, like that the slap, I think, is very unclassy. People are talking about narcissism in my comments. I do think it has some narcissistic tendencies. I disagree with all the pro slappers. If I was being a woman who likes men and that position, and if I had a man who went out of his way to slap someone, yeah, it's not like Chris Rock went and like unwantedly touched Jada or something, like, who knows, but like just joking around at an award show, yeah, that's slapping someone is not my cup of tea. So if you're a guy who likes to go around slapping people, stay out of my DMs, because you're not for me. You're not for me. I don't like the slappers. I like the phrase, the slaps, though. I will say that. I always say that. I'm always like, man, this sandwich slaps. Now I'm always going to think about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. And I'm gonna also be like, Chris Rock took that slap like a man. Like, I mean, I know he's a man, but like, he really took that slap. He just stood there and he like went back in. I don't know how he recovered from that. Kudos to him, because I would have been mortified. I would have probably been tearing up, crying, running off stage. But kudos to Chris Rock. He took it like a man. Really upset with you, Will Smith. I like was a die-hard ride or die. Now I'm like upset, unclassy moment. Would never want my man to do that. That screams red flag city when you have to go out of your way. Scream. Ugh, it just cringe. That's just very cringe. Slaps are cringe. I guess that's my opinion on the slap. Hopefully that's what you guys wanted, the slap opinion. I'm not going to be the girl in the meme who texts her man, if someone made fun of me at the Oscars, would you slap them? I'm not going to be that girl. So unfortunately that's not me. And if that's what you wanted, stay on my DMs, because that ain't me. Alright, the next topic that y'all wanted me to talk about, and I feel like I'm doing like really good on time. So yesterday's podcast, I feel like was like 40 minutes maybe. That was a good podcast length. I don't really know. Maybe. But I felt like I rambled on a lot. I will try to talk about another topic. I'll look on my Instagram and see what you guys talked about. Maybe put this at 30 minutes because, man, I really did nip it in the bud this time. Yesterday I was just like, brrr, like just talking. But today I'm looking at my iPad. It's 17 minutes. So what up? How you guys doing? So dating. I don't know what you guys want to really know. Y'all just say who you dating. It's all like you guys say, like dating, red flags, dating, red flag. I'm like, I don't know where I got pinned to be some dating guru. I really don't know, because my relationship history overall is probably a D+. A D+. I'm not going to say it's an F, because there has been some nice guys, and I'll give credit where credit's due. It just didn't work out. But my dating history overall, D+. D+. My choices aren't that great. I'll just, I'll tell on myself. My choices haven't been that great of who I chose. I see the good in people, and then I definitely overlook the bad. But yeah, D+. So I really don't know where I got the stamp of dating guru. I swear. My friends always call me and they vent. Maybe they just want to talk. They do. But then they also ask me for my advice, and I'm just like, obviously my dating history sucks. Like, I don't know where you want my advice, but I feel like I'm so good at giving people advice on dating, and not myself. I can't give myself advice on dating, but I can give other people advice on dating. So that's where I'm at on the dating thing. But I have been brainstorming. I've been talking to a couple people, some agents. How should I approach dating in the podcast? I've gotten some really good feedback. So there is a lot of red flags I'm going to start hitting, like seasonal red flags. There is like so many, like we could literally categorize the amount of red flags. Like I swear I've met so many people, interacted with so many people, girls, guys, like everyone, not even talking about dating, just like talking with people, that I've seen so many red flags. I have written red flags down over the years. Like I haven't memorized because I'm almost traumatized from the amount of red flags I've seen. If someone tells me like, hey, this person said this, I'd be like, that's a red flag. Run for the hills. Run. And then as soon as my friends are like, stay, they stay, and then they figure out the red flag came to fruition. For some reason, I'm good at seeing it with other people. I'm not good at seeing it with myself. I think maybe there's some like terminology for that, but I really don't know what the terminology is. But dating. Yes. So here's some things that have been going on, current events in my dating advice and dating world. So one, and I'm not going to name any names of these friends, but I've had a couple friends, multiple, who have been broken up with recently, very, very recently. And some of the telltale signs that were happening was the constant need for breaks from the other significant other. In one situation, this person, significant other, or former significant other, would always leave when something bad happened, and that I would be like, that's just not, it doesn't matter how nice the person is, why would you want to keep investing in a relationship that every time something bad happened they would leave? And my friend was like, oh, I just want to stay. They're an amazing person. This is the most healthy relationship I've been in. I get it, but like, that's a big red flag. And it came to fruition that, and I'm not even giving gender here because I feel like y'all will like search my profile, find my friends, and figure out who got broken up with. So I'm like not even naming names, but this former significant other, the ex, ended up breaking up literally for no reason. And my friend is always like, well, this person, like, I know they love me, I know they're still into me, but are they really? I'm gonna let you guys decide. Because if you break up with someone because you have too much going on, do you really love that person? I think not. That's my opinion. If someone's like, I'm very overwhelmed right now, I can't continue this relationship, my opinion is they don't really love you, they don't want to put the time, they don't want to put the commitment in it, and that to me is like the telltale sign to run. And when you continually keep running, like going back to it because you love them so much, you're hurting yourself. So my viewpoint on that, and from watching my friend and watching other people, when they're like, hey, I you know what, I'm guilty of this. I've like done this to people, like casually dating, like, hey, I'm so busy right now, don't really have the time to hang out. And I can understand that maybe I do like that person, but like I don't like them enough to make time for them. That's the key. And like, if you're already in a relationship with someone like almost for 2 years and they do that, I just personally don't think they really love you. So take my advice on that. If there's a significant other, girl, guy, and they are like, hey, I just don't have like the time to pursue this relationship anymore, it's just overwhelming for me, I don't really think they love you. So there's that. I just don't think so. In other dating news, I'm trying to think. Okay, well, bad dates for Victoria, because Victoria's got a lot of bad dates. So yeah, my bad dates. And I get like hated on. They're like, oh, you probably go after like a certain type of guy. Like you probably only go for guys that are like, I don't know. I don't know. Y'all are like love to assume. I swear though, I don't have a type. I literally don't. I look at my past dating record and I'm like, there is nothing like that really makes these all the same. Really nothing. Maybe like they're taller than me, but I think that is like the most in common theme with everyone I've dated. Like they're all so different. Yeah, if I had like one set of persons I dated, but like I don't. Everyone's so different. Don't have a type. I go for people I think are nice and they end up not being nice. Or like some sort of like red flag comes out. And the most recent red flag for me on my past date was that the person kept name dropping excessively. I thought it was just nerves, but then it came to the point where it was just narcissistic. And that's where you gotta like figure out, is it nerves or is it narcissism? Because sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Sometimes it's just someone being nervous, and I've been that way where I'm nervous and I'm like, I gotta figure out something to talk about. Like, start talking about myself, and I could see where it could be like construed as narcissism at some point. She's so into herself, she keeps talking about herself. But sometimes it's just nervousness. But when the point where it gets excessive is when you don't even allow the other person to talk really at all, and you just keep talking about yourself. And that is what I saw. So the name dropping, it could come off as a little bit of nerves, and you're like, hey, I want to make myself look cool, like look all cool for this girl, and I get it. I'm sorry, guys, I touch my hair so much, that's like my thing. If my mom was still here, she'd be like, Victoria, you keep touching your hair so much. Okay, but anyways, about the narcissism, nervousness spectrum, like when you start just overbearingly talk about who you know to bolster yourself so much that you don't even let the other person speak at all. And now we're talking about like, this is like 4 hours of hanging out, so I feel like the nerves have already passed at this point. It just shows to me that you're very narcissistic. And name dropping, I just feel like it's so 2011, I don't know, Jersey Shore, getting like Jersey Shore vibe, like name dropping, just not cool. You see a lot of that in South Florida, but and most of the time, 99% of the time, I see it as being narcissistic. And it's okay when you start off conversation to reach some commonalities, but when you just excessively go into it, and that was my day. It was like excessive name drop that I could not even think. And I felt really bad, but the guy was like, I don't know. I'm not gonna I don't reveal any details about who anything was, just general concepts about the person, so you don't go find these people, because I know how people are. They'll just go and find them. But yeah, the name dropping was so intense, and I would sit there. I could be literally like, hey, I grew up on a farm, like kind of telling him about myself, and he would be like, oh yeah, I know like LeBron James and this person who knows them and their family and interconnected, and he grew up on a farm, and then go off on a tangent about like how I knew Kim Kardashian. I'm like, whoa, how does this make sense with anything? And then I'm like, I don't even know what to say back, so I just was quiet. And after the date, I'm one of those people, I try not to ghost. There is some points where I ghost, and I'm very, very sorry if I ghosted you. Sometimes I just don't even know what to say, and I just go ghost. And maybe ghosting's not the greatest thing, but we all ghost at some point. I'm sorry, there's some of us that all ghost, and I appreciate feedback. And I think this guy really, really wanted some feedback, and well, first off, there was he was doing too much PDA. There was a lot of drinks going around. He got a little too drunk too, and he was really upset. I wasn't as into him, because for me, once I see the red flag hit, the red flag drop, I'm immediately turned off, and it's really hard to get me turned back on. It really, really is hard. It's like arm wrestling, and I'm the strongest person alive. It's gonna be really hard for you to turn me back on when I'm turned off from a red flag. So I was kind of completely turned off, and I'm like, you know what, we can be friends. He is a nice guy. The name dropping thing, it just gives us the complete narcissistic vibes. I don't want to date any more narcissists. Please God, no more narcissists to date. So yeah, and I was trying to be very nice about it, very cordial, and thank him for dinner and the show, but he just kept on and on, getting upset for not reciprocating the PDA. And guys, when girls don't reciprocate, maybe it means they're not ready, they don't like you, chill on the PDA so much if they don't reciprocate it back. And he really got upset, and then he told me my conversation wasn't stimulating enough. Thank you. And I clapped back. My Sicilian came out, and I was like, oh honey, it wasn't stimulating enough because I couldn't even get a word in through all your name dropping. And he became silent, and that was that. He actually did apologize for everything. And I appreciated his apology, but I said it's better off that we remain friends. So that is one scenario. That is a scenario of a bad date for me. And honestly, that is not even the worst bad date. It was actually an okay date. I've had more horror stories of dates, being catfished. There's been plenty of bad date stories I can tell you, and I will have to do like a whole episode of just bad dates. I probably could give you my top 10 bad dates. So my top 10 bad dates. So we'll have to do an episode on that. But I hope this explains some red flags. So red flag 1 for today that you can learn from my advice. Maybe it differs for everyone, but this is my advice, and this is what I've seen consistently. If someone that you're actually in a relationship or have been talking to tells you they're overwhelmed and they can't handle a relationship, I personally don't think they love you. I don't think there's anything there. I think they have their sights on maybe someone else, or they're just not into you anymore. There's that. And the other bubble, the nervousness versus narcissism of name dropping. Oh, honey, I just think it's just, most of the time it is narcissism. Most of the time it is narcissism. And then half the time I do it as a way to bring a commonality, but once it hits that over excessive point, that's when you know that person's a narcissist. So extremes people, let's look out for those extremes. I am preaching to the choir here because I'm single. I literally, my birthday April 13th coming up. I don't know what I'm going to do. Really don't know what I'm going to do for my birthday. If we really want to get kind of sad, I'm sorry to pull like a sad card out, but it's hard coming up on another, I don't want to say major holiday. Heck yeah, it's a holiday for me. It's my birthday. It's when I was born. It's when I graced this earth. But it's hard coming up on another holiday, if you want to say, without my mom. And Easter's coming up too. In terms of grief, I get a lot of questions, obviously. And sometimes it's very, very hard to address. Now, because it breaks me down a lot. But my main thing is that I am still pushing and still living for my mom and for myself, because I know that's what she would want. And the deep love that I have for my mom is what is continuing for me. And I mean, yeah, it's hard coming up on another holiday. So like for me, not thinking about it is what is helping, not harping on the issue. And I let the emotions flow, like I've said a million times. When those emotions, if you're going through grief or something, I think it's very important to let those emotions flow. The more you hold it inside, it's gonna hurt. Talk to someone. I do. But yeah, coming up on another holiday is difficult. But it is year 29 for me. 29, single, fun stuff. Fun stuff, and I'm going to be preaching dating advice to you guys because I guess I'm the guru. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, don't you love my Cookie Monster shirt? I think it's so cute. I got it from Target. I really like it. I can like link in bio it. I feel like a blogger. Link in bio for my Cookie Monster shirt. It's really cute though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like a big little kid. Yeah. I'm a big little kid, for sure. But, yeah, the Cookie Monster shirt's about. I'm just, like, looking at my little camera thing, and I'm like, hey. But, yeah, I'll always talk about dating on the podcast. Year 29, single. Let me think of some other things. I'm going to look on my Instagram right now, see what y'all asked, see if I can come up with some other topics right now that I have. Let's see, trending topics. Oh, wow. Some of you guys, you submit some dirty things. And, like, I don't know what y'all are talking about sometimes. Yeah, y'all submit some dirty things. Someone asked about NFL draft. Do you think I know about NFL draft? Yeah. No, I don't know about the NFL draft. I think this is the wrong podcast to be asking about the NFL draft. But honestly, mostly... Okay, someone said perfect eggplant size. Y'all, we're done here. I'm not looking at this list anymore. I just scrolled and I saw perfect eggplant size, laughing face. No. I do talk about dating, and we'll talk about bad dates. We'll get into some funny stuff, but we'll keep it PG-13 in the house. We're not talking about eggplants. Yeah, we're done with the eggplants, but y'all are wild. I enjoy you guys listening to my podcast. I mean, I appreciate y'all. That's more the phrase I should be saying. Enjoy you guys. I appreciate you guys for supporting my podcast. I'm going to continue this. As you know, if you don't know, this is always unscripted, and I just kind of go with the flow. Whenever it's like popping in my head, I will pretty much say it. But yeah, this is the podcast, Validated by Victoria. Y'all want to know what's valid and popping, in my opinion, on the slap, on dating, on life. You got it here. You got it from the horse's mouth right here. So, I thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting the pod. I'm going to continue with more podcasts. We got some cool people coming up. Also, if you haven't seen my Instagram, I have been working on this magazine. It's literally been almost the death of me. But it's turning out to be an incredible magazine. I'm not going to lie. The contents in the magazine are amazing. I did a tribute to my mom, so it's a very special magazine for me. We're doing a magazine launch in Charleston, April 28th. At Ink Lounge. Brody Jenner is playing. Madison LaCroix from Southern Charm is on the cover, and I will be hosting, and we're doing a fashion show. There's a lot of moving parts to the magazine launch, but it's gonna be amazing. Something that Charleston's never seen. We've got some really cool influencers coming into town, so it's gonna be amazing. So check that out. If you have any questions, if you want to purchase tickets, it is going to be on my Instagram personal, and I'll try to put it on my podcast profile as well, but I would love to see you guys there. But yeah, this is the podcast of Validated Victoria. I appreciate you guys for listening. Continue I can't even talk. Continue your support, please. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe. Give me any feedback, give me any comments, give me any suggestions of who you would like to see next on the pod. Again, I'm always going to talk about dating, but this is Validated by Victoria. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. Mwah.